Go. All right, AP Calculus Lesson 4-6, Advanced Implicit Differentiation. We're taking the second derivative today. Today's date is Monday, November 9th, 2020. Our objective for today, Andrea, is to... There it is. All right, so let's do this one. I'm trying to find the value of dy dx, and this is a case where they gave you x. So they say, hey, plug in 2. As soon as you can, after you take the derivative, plug it in immediately. And that's the general rule of thumb throughout this entire lesson. If they give you something to plug in, do it ASAP. But first, we need to take the derivative. So Fiona, you're up. Derivative. Y prime plus y is equal to, close, derivative of 10 is 0. Yeah, good. All right, so instead of trying to rearrange and isolate y prime right now, we're immediately going to plug in, and then we're going to isolate. So again, everywhere you see an x, that's going to be a 10, so it's going to be 2. I guess we can just multiply that out, right? You guys are AP calculus. This is 20 plus, I don't know where, yeah, sorry, 4. Yeah, log it. 4 plus 2y prime plus y is equal to 0. But the problem is we actually can find the value of y. We should know a number that goes in for y. So maybe I can back up and say there should be something that goes right there plus something is equal to 0. How do we find the value of y? Any ideas, girls? Something to do with the original equation that it gave us? Yeah, let's do it. So plug in 2 for each of these x values here. When I do that, I'm left with 4 plus 2y is equal to 10. From there, we're going to solve for y, subtract 4, and then divide by 2. You get y is equal to 3. I don't know if I went too fast. We're all okay. Questions, questions, questions. That means I'm plugging in that 3 over here. It's plugged in. And Andrea, do you want to just isolate that y prime for us? There's 7 over 2. There it is, and we can box it. So that type of procedure where we go back and substitute into something older is going to be the theme of today. If we get a y prime, we'll have to plug into the y prime and then still use that y prime in our next derivative. And if I'm talking nonsense, you'll see what I'm about to do in a sec. Let's move on to example 2, and then we're done. There's no backside. So there is our function. Andrea's up. Got to take the derivative. Go for it. Perfect. And then we have this coordinate 0, 2, which means x is 0, y is 2. So we can plug those in immediately. We can say 2 times 0 is 0. So it's going to be positive 4 times 2 is 8. So we have 8. Y prime is equal to 0, and therefore y prime is equal to, y prime is equal to 0, which is helpful. But we need to talk about the second derivative, because it's saying, hey, what is the second derivative over here? So I can cross this thing off. If you don't like this, think of this as y double prime. What is y double prime? And it's essentially just taking this y prime equation and taking the derivative again. And you have 2 choices here. You can rearrange if you think it makes your life easier, or you can just take the derivative. What do you girls want to do? Take the derivative? Okay, yeah, because if we rearrange, we'll have a fraction, we'll have a quotient rule. So I don't like quotient rule either. Take the derivative. All right, Fiona, back to you. Oh. So it's close. So it's 1d2. So 1 is 4y. So 4y. And then 1d2. So the derivative of the second one. Y double prime. Good. Plus plus, or times what? Close. 4y prime. There's 4y prime. All right, and that's still set equal to 0 because the derivative of 0 is still 0. Okay, so we actually know y prime, we know x, we know y. So we don't have any x's in here, so we don't have to substitute 0 for x, but we know all the y's are 2, all the y primes are 0. So let's go ahead and plug that in immediately. We have now 2 plus 4, the y is 2, so 4 times 2, y double prime, plus y prime, which is 0, times 4 times 0, that's equal to 0. Andrea, can you solve for y double prime for us, please? Yep. And therefore y double prime is equal to? Close. 1 over 4, yep. Ooh, not quite 1 over 4 though. Yeah, negative. Negative 1/4. Perfect. And then we can box it. So use the old thing, plug it in. We have to solve for that y prime. So notice that whenever it gives you any single coordinate of x or y, you should be able to plug in throughout the entire problem just from that one substitution. That's the lesson that you should take away, and we're done with the notes.